It's
Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to Space Letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
And a happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. And this morning I am joined by my good pal, Walter Johnson. You might know him as Flat Earth Head here on YouTube's. Walter, how you doing?
Good morning, Josh. Good morning, you all out there. How are y'all? It is Tuesday. I am trying to get myself going here. And I had an attack of the snooze buttonitis.
I think Zach still does. I think it attacked Zach as well.
Probably rampant right now. You know how it is. I didn't even know I had it either. I had no way to detect it. There was no. I'll stop. Anyway, how are you, good friend?
I'm a little sleepy myself. It was, I did still manage to make it, but sleepy regardless. No, I'm good. It's been good. I've got absolutely zero complaints other than the weather bearing down on us. They're calling for anywhere from 6 to 16 inches of snow, like an inch and a half of sleet, and maybe another 3/4 of an inch of ice, all coming within the next couple of days, starting tonight.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, see, I would just be buried under my pillow with my covers over that, not even over my head. So, yeah. Well, we've had a bit of a warming trend, so it's only been, I won't even brag. It's just not cold. How about that? It's chilly, nice, but not freezing. Oh, but yeah, we made it through the weekend. It was like bizarrely, I don't even explain it. Like Michelle texted me at like 1 o'clock in the morning when she went and spent time with her sisters this weekend from lack of sleep. So whatever's going on energetically is still going on. I know Cammie had asked last week, was I going through some headaches and different things with the magnetics, but I haven't even checked them. I didn't even think about checking that at night. But yeah, this weekend seems like the energy trends are still a little wonky. other people, are starting to notice it, not just us that are more finely attuned to it, I guess.
Sorry. Mid coffee because I'm still not quite awake.
That's fine. I'm still typing. I'm still clicking around. Sorry, I'm totally like out of it too. I'm clicking around trying to get back into the things I need to get into. There's the show and the people and the chatters. Hi everybody, I see you all.
Hi everybody.
I was trying to get over there to y'all. We haven't roll called in a long time. Let's see who's here this morning. Oh, look at that. AZ first there in our chat. I see Doc Michael. Hello, friend. We need to get together, man. We hadn't had you around here talking with us in a few months at least.
At least.
Benito himself. What's up, Ben Flat? Good to see you, friend. I know a guy who might be coming to hang out with us there in chat. David M.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even checked our emails. Look at me this weekend. Like I said I would.
He did. I think he sent was yesterday, or day before. I did get one from David. So, David, I did see it. I will respond.
We're on this, David. I promise. We're going to make it work.
I've been really good at responding.
420. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say I've been pretty good at responding to the emails thus far, I think.
You go through cycles. We all do. Vividness 420. Also, a couple of 420s there. Do y'all know each other? Or y'all kin to each other?
Because I think I'm distant related.
I think I know you guys, right? I think it's by blood or by THC, something. We're definitely related. Oh my goodness. Ah, man, I am scrolling away here to see Ian. I see Zom Snoo himself. What's up, Zom? It's Snoot. Good morning, good friend. Liz, the Iron Maiden. Hello, lovely Liz. Zombie. Oh, I just said him. Sorry, man. You see, I can't even scroll right. It keeps plopping back. C, a B, and a C, and a B is here. Roberto, what's up, Robert Page? Good to see you, good friend. Good to see you, Alexander Lightwater.
I was just listening to Robert Page this yesterday? Day before yesterday, I guess, on Sunday. No, wrong Robert Page. I had actually pulled up Daniel's interview that we did together when I first met Robert. Robert first heard me and he called in and we got a chance to chit chat a little bit. So I was actually letting the wife listen to that.
Cool deal. Good deal. Good deal. And I'm sure I've missed folks.
There's Campbell, autodidactic.
Look at Campbell popping in there at the end. Yeah, I just scrolled down to the bottom and saw our buddy Cam. If you guys missed Friday's show, well, and of course, that's not all Campbell did this weekend. I saw he was a busy guy again. So if you haven't gone over to the Autodidactic or Autodidactic 2 channel, it should be in the show link there for Friday's Have No Sphere. If it's not, well, shame on us. We'll fix that. Shane O'Brien popping in. Good morning, good sir.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Mike LaBrash. I was on Saturday on THC, episode number 9, in my herbal garden, where he had Daryl Davis on, and David M. even popped in and said hello. And if you are at all interested in maybe starting your own herbal garden, I highly suggest you give that a listen. I gave it to my buddy at work and let him listen to it, and he really dug it. He listened to it a couple times just because it's so full of information. So many good things in there. So if you're really at all interested, if you've been thinking, man, I need a hobby, check out that show. It is well worth the watch and the listen, but just chock full of great information. The link is posted into the chat, and maybe I'll try to include it in the show description. Hard to say. I can never remember to do it.
Yeah, no, we have kind of the generic whatever description that we have for these morning shows on our YouTube channel, guys.
And I'm sorry.
We'll try to come back. Yeah.
It's my fault just because when I'm setting up, it's just easy to put a placeholder, but
plug and place. Yeah.
It's our info, but that's what the AI is for. And I'm going to start trying to incorporate that AI copywriter a little bit so that it can save me some time there, but introduce some variations to the show description instead of the same thing every single time.
Well, usually, goodness, sorry. If you dig around there on the Twitters or on the Facebookers, there will be a different description that'll be more informative and directed towards the actual show description. Usually. So, I kid the unorganized, myself being that one. Anyway,
what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and give old Zachary Zabala a call, see what happens.
Shake it up. And while you're doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the little pile we have. If I remember correctly, there was a little sad news in the music world over the weekend. The mighty, mighty Boss Tones are no more. No more Boss Tones. Yeah.
I thought they broke up like 15 years ago.
Oh, no. They've actually been doing it. They've been doing it for some time. I actually check Dickie's podcast out probably once every 6 months, something like that. I'll see a video of one of their things go by on my YouTube feed, and it'll make me go dig up and see what he's been up to. I thought that was all he was doing, but it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, and I thought I had seen something also popping up, they actually just released a new album right before. Yep. Fresh off releasing a rejuvenating new album, their first for Tim Armstrong's Hellcat label. But yeah, they have decided after decades of touring. Well, here, let me just read their quote. After decades of brotherhood, touring the world and making great records together, we've decided to no longer continue on as a band. Above all, we want to express our sincere gratitude to every single one of you who have supported us. We could not have done it without you. Love always, the mighty, mighty Boss Tones. So yeah, I caught them probably on their Question the Answers album a little before the, what was it, impression that I get that most people heard. So I had a little early jump on them than some people did. I saw them one night on Jon Stewart's late night MTV show, which, if you missed that, was quite a little gem. I saw a lot of bands on that show that I found out about that way. So, yeah, gonna miss them. I'm going to back and start listening to some of their stuff now. I probably only heard about 3 or 4 of the albums after that one, so not that I stayed on top of it. But, yeah, just kind of shocking to see that after all these years, me not knowing they were still together, now they're broken up.
Well, that's similar to the sort of situation that I had. There was a movie out a long time ago called Scream, and then it had a sequel, Scream 2. And I remember renting Scream 2 with my girlfriend at the time and watching it. And we were watching it. I don't remember exactly what scene it was, but there was the background music. And I heard that background music, and there was just something that stuck with me. Like, damn, that's a unique sound. Who is that? I dig that. So I'm listening. We watched the whole movie just so I can see who it was that was playing that song. It was a band called the Cottonmouth Kings. And this was like their first song they had on the movie, first real debut sort of into the mainstream. So I listened, I found them. I'm like, well, I got to order that album. So I ordered the album. It's just these guys from Southern California, and they're potheads, and they just love to sing and perform about smoking weed. But they have it in this really cool sort of punk rock, hip hop style. So it was really unique for me at the time. There was no real Limp Bizkit that I'd been paying attention to. They may have been around, but I don't think they were mainstream back then. So it was a pretty unique sound. And I just became a big fan. And they just kind of stuck with me forever. Ever since then, they've always been a major part in my life. So when I met my current wife, we met online on a dating website, Plenty of Fish. And she had a picture of her tattoo on her back. And it was just a big Cottonmouth King sign. And so once I saw that, I'm like, oh, now we're talking. At least we've got something in common. Right? I know she's 420 friendly. And it's just always been a big part of our life together. She lost a whole bunch of weight right after her divorce and just got super motivated and was just listening to a whole lot of Cottonmouth Kings. It was the Cottonmouth Kings that drug her sort of out of her depression and got her moving and got her going and got her through that divorce. So they've always played a big part in both of our lives. And we were going over this weekend and we knew they'd broken up and there was always some drama with that bullshit. But it's goofy. So the Insane Clown Posse had interviewed their DJ last month. DJ Bobby B. And I listened to about 3/4 of it and couldn't finish it, listening to all the drama and backstabbing that was going on in the Cottonmouth Kings during the time that the wife and I both thought that who they said they were is who they really were. And that whole vibe and all the shit that they would sing about and talk about in their lyrics and the legacy of the kings and the queens and the whole KMK fam was just all utter bullshit. And they're just over there backstabbing, stealing, threatening each other's lives. It was just a whole chaotic. It was like a bunch of kids started a band in a garage and used like their friends as their representations. And their friends were going through and trying to just take notes of all the worst producers, worst management, worst representation. How can we fuck over the talent? And just tried every single way to squeeze every last dime out of the performers while giving them almost nothing. It was just garbage, but it was heartbreaking. I mean, there was almost literal tears in our eyes as we're listening to this and watching them go through this and listen to the bullshit that we just had no idea. And to think that we bought it and believed it. But it had such a huge impact on our lives that I guess it doesn't really matter in the end, because it doesn't change the fact that it drug her out of her depression. It doesn't change how much it affected her. So we're still fans. I just prefer the old school KMK. Anyway, enough about that. Nobody cares about
No,
ICP and Cottonmouth Kings in my experience.
Trust me, I get it. It's really disheartening when a band that stood for so much for you turns out they didn't really stand for that at all.
We don't want to rage
quick
against
shout
any
out.
machines.
Yeah. Harsh words against the machine. Good morning there, David M. Thank you for the good vibrations there, super chat. What with all the smoke puffs and sparkly green plants and whatnot. I like it, sir. I like that. Excuse me. Yeah, there's actually some news articles going around actually right now, currently. Jeff Tate, lead singer for a band I used to love, still love, and kind of that's where I'm heading with this. Queensryche, one of my favorite bands of all time. They really were impactful. Cammy, Where You At? Silent Lucidity, one of the most amazing songs about lucid dreamings that ever became a hit single. Look out. So yeah, lots of important lyrics, lots of spiritual lyrics, and similar to kind of what I went through with Mr. Maynard there. Real important lyrics, real important things, music, saw concert experiences, met the band. It was great. And then years later, first Chris DeGarma left, and then another guy joined them, and it's just they fall apart over time. And finally, Jeff Tate left, and there was this big lawsuit, and so the story that's going around right now is that they've been offered obscene amounts of money to get back together with the original lineup, and he's saying that that just won't ever happen. There's too much bad blood, and there is. The drummer has sued him, and just there's all kind of stuff. So yeah, very disheartening when one of your favorite band turns out to be actually human, and yeah, it really sucks. Anyway, that's enough boo-hooing about our bands that let us down. I'm looking at you, Metallica. Anyway.
Shout out to Mike D. Just in chat. In chat, not like the Beastie Boy.
Damn it, I'm stuck. I went back to David's super chat. Now I can't scroll anymore. I don't know what I did. Anyway, I dropped the link to the show there for Saturday that you did there.
Awesome. Thank you. As did Doc Michael. So thank you both.
Nice, Doc. Thank you, sir. What have I done? Huh. Does anyone have a clue how to make this go away once I brought up his super chat yet? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. It's just on the screen and won't go it. Well, I appreciate the hell out of it. I'm going to refresh. Oops. I did. I refreshed and it fixed it. Okay.
Exactly.
I was reading the chat. I saw someone mention lucid dreaming, AZ there. So interesting.
So I want to have a little conversation about hair.
Okay.
Because it's going on in chat. And this is one of those things that I really like this idea. David M. in chat was saying, they want us to sever the extensions of our nervous system. They want us to cut our hair. See, I can't find out exactly what it was. And then Ian was saying, well, he just cut his hair yesterday. And I've heard this a lot. Like the Native Americans here would always grow their hair long. And it was supposed to be, I don't know, what's the purpose? What are they saying the idea of the long hair is?
Let's just say this. It would seem, and this is the lore that we're told, that when certain Native Americans were enlisted, I hope you heard the air quotes, into the U.S. militaries there to help with different, usually tracking and things like that. When they were forced to cut their hair per military protocol, they lost their ability to track. Now, I understand nerves and all that, and I have long hair, always have. And when I read this, it was kind of like call to arms, long hair people rock, because we're more connected. We're more electrically connected to the these antenna filaments that sprout out of our head is helping with that, either picking up or even broadcasting some of these things. And as one who is an empath to the point of self-detriment, I mean, like literally, I have to wall myself off sometimes, both physically and emotionally, from what I feel from others. The idea that me having had long hair for most of my life, contributing to that extra sensory overstimulation, made a lot of sense. Then I got to thinking, well, I've many times gone in to get split ends cut off, or gone in to get a little style to some of this horrible mass of crap that grows out of my head. So right there, you're cutting off the main antenna part, that little tip part of it all. And I still was extra sensitive and still felt what I feel. I've seen other people in chat before, when this has been mentioned, say, hey, I just cut my hair and I don't feel any different. So, I guess it would depend on your level of sensitivity. Or maybe with the Native Americans were forced to fucking enlist and forced to fucking cut their hair. They're like, no, I'm not tracking shit for you.
Yep, that's
and
what
the
my
lore
guess
became,
is.
The lore became what it became. I don't know. Just throwing a lot at you. Sorry.
Just sitting there in the barber chair with the buzzers, and all they can think of is, you're going to be the 7th Cavalry one day. You're going to be the 7th Cavalry one day. You're going to be the 7th Cavalry one day. Shout out to George Custer.
Yeah. Indeed.
No, it was.
Indeed. I'm still playing chat. Catch up. Sorry, I'll stop reading.
I was going to say, that is what I kind of figured. If you enlist, and they're like, oh, we want you to track down our enemies for us. And you're a Native American, and you're looking at the U.S. military, thinking back on all the atrocities committed by them against you and your people. And you think, you want me to do what? Yeah. Use your special skills and all your talents to help us track down our enemies. All they have to do is shave your heads. Like, oh, yeah, apparently, sorry. We're like Samson in that way. Once you cut our hair, we're just really of no more use to you. You might as well just let us go. Sorry. Can't track. All of our tracking ability was stored in the hair. But you would think that if there was something directly related, if you didn't maybe immediately feel the effect after a haircut. You would think be able to at least somehow, if not quantify it, compare it to like a before and after at some point, or a side by side. It's like, okay, here's someone with long hair, here's someone with short hair. And the differences are this, this, and this, and we'll take a look and see if those are actually the differences. But I really dig the idea. If I wasn't so thin on top, I'd probably grow my hair out.
Right.
Otherwise, it just looks like I'm desperately holding on to what little hair I have left. So I just shave it all off. Fuck it.
It is tough to be that long-haired guy that's balding. Pretty tough.
Shout out to the skullets out there.
That's it. For sure.
Huh. Maybe I ought to log into the vault so I can see what time it is.
Oh, I was going to do that too. And then what did I do? Not do it.
1 minute, 6 seconds. We got about 30 seconds before we hit the break. What timing?
Almost like we do this a couple times a week.
Couple times.
And know the feeling of
for
that
like
break on
6
the way.
years. So there is a chance we might have a visit from Drafodger. I did talk to him last night as well. Yeah.
Jonathan, I haven't spoken with that good sir in a while.
That's what I thought too. Well, this is sort of how the conversation with Dixie and I got started. And it's going to be a minute, so I'll probably cover that story on the other side of the break, which is coming up here just any minute. So we're going to talk about a little bit of Drafodger, Jonathan from Jersey, as he and Dixie have a conversation about the moon landings and photography. What? Yeah, that should be good. Anyway, you guys stick around. We got some commercials coming up right here. There's more Ironworx after this. Josh and Walt hanging out with you this morning, missing Zachary Zabala. Chris Gio's going to pay the bills. We'll be right back.
My hero. That's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know. I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero's always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not. And that's just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing. So to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right. To that I say, just keep living, huh?
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? iLife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to iLife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Jim Ram, retired. In early 2012, I was facing a laundry list of chronic health conditions that my physician was telling me were incurable. I knew there had to be a better way, and I learned how I could reverse every one of my ailments with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. In just a few months, I was able to reverse high blood pressure, gastric reflux, sleep apnea, arthritis, degenerative disc disease, heart arrhythmia, AFib, and many more. And I've lost over 70 pounds and kept it off. Now I'm hosting a radio program that's dedicated to helping my listeners do the same. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick of being used as an ATM by your doctor, then you'll want to tune into the Your DIY Health radio program here on Truth Frequency Radio every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific.
are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
You know what? I'm done with that. I'm pretty sure that song right there is the reason every single Ironworx gets hit with the copyright strike.
I think you're right. I think that was one of the ones that we fought early on endlessly and just, yeah, they just hit us. Good morning, Nuka Cola in chat. I just saw him pop up. Good, buddy. Good to see you. You need to get in here and catch us up on what you've been up to, good friend, for sure. Playing catch up in the show chat here, just throwing it back around real quick. I did see, some people just talking about different hair lengths they've tried and tied it into enlightenment. I know you mentioned, Samson, that whole thing. I know that there's this whole thing. I see Zombie Snoo in chat's got hair down to his butt. So
nice.
Everybody does have their own length of hair that will grow to. Like if you just let it grow and don't cut it, it's going to hit a length and stop. My son's did, mine did. It's so. Yeah, that Zombie Snoo hasn't cut it in almost 6 years. Looks like AZ has a long-haired cat. I mean, there's just lots of things going on. So if the idea of the power of hair wouldn't be something, then I guess we wouldn't have a story about Samson that was passed down to us over time. Because that's one I just never went back and circled back around to kind of go, yeah. Yeah, and the idea that as a society we've taken it as a sign, a symbol, a virtue signal, or whatever of neatness or whatever, I mean, we still have that whole 1820s, Portland beard thing happening around the world that became a fad and is still kind of lingering. I know you have a massive beard you tend with at times too, sir. So when you shave it off, do you change? Do things happen do things feel different when your facial hair length is?
Do they ever? I look so freaking goofy. Like I have zero chin. Like my face is just squished down real short and somebody just knocked my chin right off my face. But after about 2 or 3 days, I'm like, oh, now I look normal again. That's good. Beyond that, no, there's nothing really beyond that, I notice.
All right, enough about hair. Sorry, I just thought that was interesting. Well, you were going to catch us up on a little conversation you and Dixie had, I believe, before the chat, sir.
Well, it was
before the break. Sorry, I'm reading chat again. Get out of chat, Walter.
Well, we were just she was in a mood to not just sit and let her mind wander whilst something mindless plays on the television. She was, I'd popped on the Iwar Anon, the lost history of the flat Earth. And we were going to start that because I knew that would be sort of right up her alley to really pique her interest. But before we could even start it, we just kind of got to talking and started talking. And she had asked me if I knew anything about the cameras they used during the moonwalk, the moon landing. It's been covered. I've looked at it. I know there's a whole bunch of garbage there that they try to pass off as real. I'm not a photographer, so the specifics of the cameras and things that they used for that moonwalk are lost to me. I'm sure I've read them, but they're not something that stuck because there's no personal investment for me. So we got to thinking, and she says, well, here's the thing is because it's that shutter speed, there's the mirror in there. It's all operated. It operates by gravity, I think. Like the camera opens the shutter speed, but the mirror comes up and it has to go down too. But when it goes down by the gravity. So how would those cameras work if they're on the moon? And man, talk about pride. That my wife is thinking like this and asking me these questions. I'm like, yeah.
Right. I'm digging it. That's why I'm chuckling. I'm like, go ahead, Dixie.
So she did.
I would never even thought of that.
She got into it. She looking up the Hasselblad lenses, putting it all together, and she's trying to figure all this stuff out. She pulls out her camera. She's like, all right, well, let's just see. The low light settings, she's setting the f-stop, and she's setting the ISO. It's like, well, this is sort of the settings they would have to be, right? If that's the camera they're using, and they're on the moon, it's probably low light situations. I'm thinking, well, no, because they weren't in the dark. I'm just thinking, trying to remember. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were on a lit part of the moon when they landed.
They were indeed.
Because everything is white. Right. So where is the light source coming from? Mind you, they tell you the moon reflects the sunlight. So the sun comes in and bounces off the moon. The light source is the moon.
Much brighter.
So if the astronauts are on the moon, would the light source be the sun or would the light source be the moon? Because the moon is reflecting all that sunlight. So she's trying to figure out exactly the best way they would take these pictures. There's no viewfinder on these cameras. Mind you, they had cameras mounted to their chest. Then they had the one with the handheld. So they had these Hasselblad lenses. I'm not quite sure. So no viewfinder. There's no light meter. They have no idea how to set the cameras up to adjust for the lighting.
Attached to their chest area of their fucking suit. They're not actually handheld either. So it's not like they can direct.
They did have one handheld.
They may have had a handheld version, but most of the pictures that we've seen of each other taking pictures of each other is the chest camera, which is not. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to point your chest at a fucking topic that you're trying to photograph. Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir. Go right ahead.
But again, you don't have any of your settings set. I figured the best case scenario is they would have to preset their cameras on Earth because they're in these pressurized gloves right on the moon. So it's not like they're just super nimble fingers and all this dexterity where they can just flip through all the settings on their cameras and change all this stuff. It's mounted to their chest. They're on the moon, allegedly. And they're having to adjust the cameras for all this never before seen lighting. Imagine going into some place you've never been before with lighting that no human has ever seen before with a camera that you can't adjust and you take 18,000 perfect pictures. 18,000 perfect pictures from that lunar landing. From the chest cameras and the handheld. 18,000 pictures. Don't ask me how they got the film there because the film are in these magazines so they can load them into the cameras. But they had to, this is what cracked up my wife, Dixie, they had to space-proof the cameras in the film. No further explanation as to what the fuck space-proofing is. But somehow they had to move all of this film in these canisters from Earth to the moon through the Van Allen radiation belts. Okay, so maybe all of these magazines for all of these cameras, for all of the astronauts, were lined with lead to protect them. 18,000 pictures. How did they get all those canisters on the rocket to the moon, then, well, above the moon, then to the moon? You take 18,000 pictures and then you what? You put them on the lander? These 18,000 pictures worth of lead-lined canisters, because you're in space, you got to get it back. What's it, like a semi-truck worth? Fuck. So you load all these up into your lunar lander because that's your homeless tweaker shelter, because there's got to be plenty of room in that thing, right? So all your magazines full of lead and film. What you're going to take off from the moon back up to the.
Don't forget your go-kart.
Got to load the go-kart in there too. So the go-kart, all the astronauts, plus your film canisters worth of 18,000 pictures, and then go back up, reboard, change momentum, and get back to Earth. And then bring all of these 18,000s, perfectly photographed, mind you, from chest cameras in lighting conditions they've never seen, with perfect clarity. Perfect clarity. And I think that's what first tipped off my wife, was looking at these pictures, thinking, how did they get all these pictures so good? She said, I don't remember the pictures being this clear. I said, no. Because NASA decided to broadcast the landing and then project that onto a bedsheet. And then they invited the press to come in. And the press could broadcast the projection on the bedsheet to the people at home across the United States. So when that film looks all grainy, it's not because they didn't quite space-proof their film well enough. It's because they intentionally degraded the quality. Then they intentionally degraded the quality again, and then they intentionally degraded the quality of the video again, and then sent it to the United States citizens. This is what you paid for. Sorry it's in such bad shape. Space is dangerous. I mean, you wouldn't expect us to get 18,000 pictures back from the moon in perfect condition, would you? No, it's all grainy and because it's the moon. Not because we're doing it on a bedsheet. So she was real excited, and she was just trying to wrap her brain around all this photography stuff. I said, you know what? I know someone who would really dig this conversation. Someone who would probably have quite a bit to add. So we're just sitting in bed, and I just ring up old Jonathan from Jersey. And like you, Walt, I had not talked to Jonathan in at least a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
So it rings. He says hello. I say hello. He's like, hey, what's going on? Then Dixie is excited. She's got a little bit of that flat earth mania. And she just jumps right in. And she starts talking about cameras and how, if they were on the moon, would they have done this? And you know, what about the mirror and the gravity? Would the 1/7 of the moon's gravity be enough to drop the mirror? So they start having this great conversation. But it was a little bit funny because I hadn't talked to Jonathan. He thought something was wrong. To see my name pop up and then hear my wife talking, because they've never spoken. He's not even heard her voice before. So he just gets my number and her voice, and he gets a little panicky. He thought something was wrong. So then I had to speak up again and let him know, no, we're all good. Just thought of you. Wanted to include you on this conversation. So it was a really good conversation. I'm going to try to get the both of them on the air, because it needs to be heard by others. I wish I would have recorded it. It was really good. But I'm 99% sure that she is considerably flatter today than she was last Friday. Right. And she is 100% convinced that we didn't go to the moon. And last week she said, there's probably some strong evidence, it doesn't really look like it. When you hear the people's arguments against why, it's pretty convincing. Nope, there's no way we went. There's no way those pictures are real. She looked into it. She did the research, and she knows there's no way. She said, why are there shadows being cast in two different directions? I said, your guess is as good as mine.
It's because Earthshine is much brighter than moonshine. Anyway, oh my God, that's awesome, dude. it's good to see all this. What's the word? I guess satellite awakening occurring around us. You know, Josh, you and Dixie there, and our buddy Zach had a family awakening, or at least, you know, I say it kind of flippantly, but really it's great when somebody you've talked to and kind of laughed you off with your crazy notions of what might be going on in the reality around us have actually been looking into these things kind of on their own. It's really enlightening. I mean, enheartening and good to see. Real quick, our good friend Luca, what's up, Nuka Cola? Dropped us a super chat there in the chat. Well, I had it up and now I've scrolled away from it. There it is. Gotcha. Nuka, a friend got a letter from work telling him he has 48 hours to vaccinate or he'll be fired. Any advice? Night before he was in a fist fight about vaccines. Well, I don't even have a place to stand. In fact, sir, I believe you gave us there, Nuka, one of the early great ideas on how to maneuver your way through some of the new normal out there with the text system and line maneuverability and being able to present your code on your phone or whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't even know how it works because I don't live in that world. But yeah, it's unfortunate that there are a lot of people who do. Anybody want to drop some good advice for Nuka there in chat? Please do so.
Ice your knuckles and spend 48 hours, overload on carbs and protein, and when you go in there unvaccinated, fucking start fist fighting everybody that wants to stab you. If you had a fist fight the night before, what's 48 hours later? Just fucking go for it. Brawl them all out.
Go for it.
Just wrap your hands in cloth, man. Dip them in glue, roll them in glass, and say, come on, vaccinate.
Come on, dude. Extra love and a healing vibes sent out to Vividness 420 there, going through some recent health things. I had seen it in the chat and then seeing the details today, and I don't want to get into that right now on the air. If you want to talk about it, you're more than welcome to come over here and hang out with us, Viv, anytime. You know that. Anybody that would like to come hang out with us is more than welcome. Kind of friendly around here.
Shout out to our good buddy Lucas King and his channel LC King there in chat.
And Lucas.
Yeah, Jonathan was hoping you'd be on this morning if and when he managed to make it. He may not show up, but he may be sleeping. He said if he's awake, he'll come on. I think he was going to set his alarm or going to try to stay up or something, but I know how it is. Shout out to Hawk or Hack.
Hack, I would guess.
Horry Sheet Show. There in chat. Hippie Shake 29. It is a poison day on a plane. Welcome, everybody. 36 fabulous souls watching here in chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shell actually had a little, not necessarily, she really actually, okay, so let me kind of preface this. Years ago, I did a local cable access show with Michelle's sister, my sister-in-law, her husband directing or on the camera, and a good friend of the family there directing it. It was called Reality Check. There's actually a couple of the shows that we did. There's one with the Star Child, some things like that here on the the Iron Media channel. So if you go look, you can probably find some of my old hairstyles. Anyway, back then in those days, before I got on the show, and we were talking about everything. I mean, any conspiracy-related, health-related, truth-related thing, we were on it early back in the day. And so before I became one of the cast members there talking about some stuff on the air, they had another gentleman there, friend of the family, who is I don't even know the word to explain his take on life. It's kind of like anything that any conspiracy related type thought that might go through your head, he's going to poo poo it and say you're nuts. Any type of not mainstream media driven crap, he's going to, just rebel against it. I could never really understand why he was on the show in the first place. And he took a little break and moved away, and that's when I got on the show. And then he came back and would kind of be there in the studio, just poo-pooing all the stuff we were saying. So again, I never really understood why he was on the show in the first place. Anyway, fast forward 2 years later, last night, and during a little dinner conversation there at the in-laws, I wasn't there, thank God, because Michelle said, yeah, I'd be kicking you under the table the whole time. But anyway, he was just going on and on and on about the amazing scientific advances that have occurred in the last 70 years and singing the praises of old Muskie boy and Bezos and just how amazing they are and the great scientific advances they've made. And somehow she managed not to jump across the table and throat him out. But I'm really understanding that it seems that some people, I just don't understand that whole mentality of not just going along with the MSM, not just going along with the bullshit, but just like celebrating it. Just sorry, I'm probably just rambling here, so I'm so aggravated about the idiocy of it all. But just that idea of the praising of what, of having so many failures is ridiculous. Oh, well, he overcame those failures and da 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 da. Yeah, but I mean, oh my God, the money wasted, the ways we could have advanced actual fucking knowledge and science instead of just playing this fucking cartoon game. All right, I'm sorry. Walt ran over. I'll calm down. Let me get some coffee.
It's just enough to drive you nuts. The lack of ability to think. Just the willingness. When I got home last night, Dixie had spent a little bit of time yesterday even trying to go through and read some of the mainstream stories and explanations for these weird anomalies when it comes to the photographs from the lunar landing and trying to see what other people were asking or saying about the camera equipment and how they did it all. And she's like, for every story I'd read, they were similar, but they were also different. It's like everyone had a different explanation or a different reasoning or a different story. And by the time I was done, I had zero information. It was just more confusing because it's like nobody really knew, but I had all these different answers. I said, yeah, that's how they do it. That's the obfuscation. I said, would you believe? Sorry, just to track back, there was a troll farm that was on a TV show, and it just totally blew her mind seeing this troll farm. Sure, absolutely. Lucas, come on. I always want you to jump on. Would love to be able to talk to you. We enjoy your company and your conversations any and all times, so please do. Feel free to hop on. But she was just sort of blown away by these kids in this troll farm, and that the idea that there are really people out there sitting in a room, all with computers, just making memes and trolling people on the internet and getting paid to do it. So, I totally forgot where I was headed with that before I had to lose track again. Oh, I was telling her about the obfuscation and the reason how they throw out all this bullshit to try to hide the truth. They don't just deny it. They throw out other bullshit explanations just to confuse. I said, would you believe there's a troll farm out there that say that birds don't exist, that birds are a CIA operation used to spy on people. They've all got cameras, and the birds sit on telephone wires so that they can recharge, and that birds don't exist. Birds aren't real. I said, would you believe there is a troll farm out there talking about, what the hell did I tell her it was? Fuck, see, now I've already forgotten. But it was just the idea that the way that they obfuscate by putting out not just wrong information, but multiple different versions of wrong information for people to come across. Oh, that's what it was. I said, would you believe there's a troll farm? People in a room on computers pretending to be flat earthers and telling people that they don't believe Australia exists, so that people will think that flat earthers think that Australia doesn't exist. It's a whole group of trolls out there. It's a whole fucking movement. Flat earthers don't think Australia exists. These crazy conspiracy theorists think birds aren't real. Look, just search it on the internet. You'll see. And I guess she didn't quite realize the extent to which flat earthers were being persecuted in the electronic age, in the way that they just, it's one thing to imagine the derision. It's another thing to have somebody tell you, you're retarded, you shouldn't breed, just go die because you think the earth is flat. It just totally blew her away that there were, what she was seeing, that these ideas of trolls and troll farms were actually a thing, and they were actually directing them at people like her husband. Totally threw her off. And that brings us to the end of the second half of the first half, right there at the halfway point of the show.
And on the other half, we're going to show you some proof. Well, maybe not show you, but you'll hear some proof that Australia is quite fucking real.
Damn right.
Damn Skippy it is.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem in today's modern media. From the mainstream to YouTube and Google, the information you're looking for is buried by official narratives and propaganda. This is why TFR is 100% uncensored, unregulated, and listener-supported. The shows on TFR are not micromanaged by the station, and our hosts are free to speak their minds however they please. As such, the views and opinions expressed on our station are of those who make them. If you happen to hear anything offensive on TFR, please send us an email to toughtitty@tfrlive.com, and we'll be happy to tell you that we really don't give a damn. We stand for freedom of speech and non-censorship. If you also stand for free speech, you can go to tfrlive.com/sign-up and sign up for a TFR supporter pass and help us in our mission to keep the airwaves uncensored and unregulated. TFR Live, your uncensored and unregulated protection from deception.
Mr. President, you've been the big guy for 6 months now in the White House. Can you take us behind the scenes, something that was extraordinary or unusual that happened that stands out to you?
Here's the deal. What? I want to say, oh, I like to walk out on the road to go in. What? Come on. I like to walk out on the road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on the road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on the road to go in. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens were here or not, and you just go walk out and say, I just don't like the way that guy wears his tie. It's like telling your kid, I tell you what, you're 4 years old when you see a red light cross the street. I grew up in a neighborhood where you became a cop, a firefighter, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any one of them. So here I am. And by the way, one of the things I've gotten able to get done, let me finish the question. The answer. What? I want to say, oh, I like to walk out on the road to go in. What? Come on. I like to walk out on the road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on the road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on the road to go in. I mean, QAnon. The idea that the Democrats, the Biden is hiding people and sucking the blood of children, and I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. The fact is, you may not like me, and that's your right. I'm sitting across from Putin. He knows who I am. Joe Biden. What's that all about? You're the big man, I think. Yay! I know who he is. Love Putin. But again, one last thing. We don't talk enough to you about this, I don't think. Here's the deal. What? I want to say, oh, I like to walk out on the road to go in. What? Come on. I like to walk out on the road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on the road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on the road to go in.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
Wake up! What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworx. Kicking off right now. Shout out to 17 Joy there in chat. And Karen B. Good morning, ma'am. Glad to see you here. We need to get you back on too. Jesus, we haven't had you on in freaking forever. But who we do have on right now, our good buddy, Lucas King. You might know him from his channel, LC King. Good morning, Lucas, down there in Australia.
Hey, how you going?
Not too bad. How are
you?
It's
been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah, I'm going well. You know, kicking around, just watching the action. You know, events going off here and there. I don't know. I'm suspect of the whole lot, to tell you the truth. But you know, we'll just kick back and just see what happens.
So are you referring to what's going on in Canada, or are you referring to something that's going on specifically there in Australia that I've missed?
Yeah, there's something. Well, there's this like consolidation going on for all the truckers over in Canada, and they're supposedly doing other things everywhere else, all over the plane. But yeah, they were doing it here in Australia as well. I don't know, it wasn't quite as big, but yeah, they were knocking on the doors of the Parliament House. So,
well, good.
There's something.
Good. I'm surprised it took them this long.
Oh, what? 2 years? No, they're just getting warmed up.
I don't know. I always figured them Bogans as pretty emotional people and likely to have been up there banging on the doors first rattle out the box. But what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know. Nah, I think it's all just fun and games. I don't know.
Devil's
but
advocate.
I've been concentrating on other stuff anyway, really.
which has
Can't
been
focus
absolutely
on it the whole time, can you?
You've been setting precedents. You've been cracking codes and breaking things open. Still, aside, the stuff you're doing is awesome. I just
stumbled across it.
It's really, really cool stuff.
So I'll try and explain it in a really precise and coherent way. It's basically what I'm doing. Well, what I was looking at was all the patterns of the planets, and I'm like, there's got to be a linkage here. They're not, when you're looking at the galvanic cell and stuff, how that operates, you go, well, things aren't just independently shuffling around up there. We have very set periods of time with, sun, stars, moon, and all that. And, so I was looking for the relationships between these luminaries, basically. And what I found is that there is a relationship, but they sort of hide it a little bit. And there's a few things that they do a little bit funny. NASA, I'm talking about, and all their little models and mathematics. Like it works out to a degree, but it doesn't give you the code in a sense. So what I noticed was after looking at, I got sent this tachyon, or tachos, I think it's called. Sorry, not tachyon, but the tachos model, which is a different sort of layout of how the luminaries are moving. So I was looking at that, and in that those articles, he'd actually done some observations and then accounting for the movements of especially Mercury. Like it has a 7-year period that it moves through. It has these fluctuations in the time it moves, and just a few different things that were in there. But he was trying to put together how they fit together in a code. And so I was like, yes, that's so close, So I started taking some of that data and then looking at the synodic periods, which is basically a synodic period is where you look at the planet, the luminary, and then it'll be in one specific position in regards to the stars, and then when it comes back to that same position in regards to the stars in that exact same position, well, that's how many days for that synodic period. And so that's probably the best way. From there, you can extrapolate what a sidereal period is, which would be the actual orbit and how many days it takes to orbit. So, for example, the synodic period for, say, Mercury is 116 days, and it's just a few different things, especially because you take into account retrograde and those sort of things. But what I actually found is that everything's based off 27, and that's the moon's sidereal period, and then you times that by basically 1.108. And that's your like 108, that really sort of sacred number. And from there, the whole thing just is a sequence of divisions of 27. So everything's based off the lunar movement, basically, as the underpinning for the rest of calculating the planets or the luminaries. So yeah, it's really interesting. It gives you sort of these notions of the 364-day calendar and all those sort of things start to come out of it. And what's really interesting about it is that it actually starts to show this connection between the time period of Saturn and the moon. So those two major anodes in the system. And we all know that, that Chronos, that's where, time basically, comes in lots of different words, chronometer and all the rest of it is all about time. And when you start to look at these charts, you'll actually see that Saturn is really the dictator of, or the end point of all these time periods. And it's really interesting, especially when you talking about cycles and where we are in our time frame, I guess. I did rant on a lot then, didn't I?
No, that was interesting as hell.
It is interesting as hell.
Trying to wrap my head around the details, but definitely.
Yeah. Well, you probably need to see the charts, but I'm just trying to explain, that all these luminaries and the way that they move are all connected. There's a harmonic that's going on, and from these harmonics, they've actually. You remember in the old sort of what's it called? Well, basically, where they have arithmetic, your mathematics, and then you'll have your architecture, and then you'll have music, and then you'll have the operation of the stars. Well, all of those they didn't really connect before, but now when you've got that this harmonic and understand the harmonics that are going on in the sky, now you can see that there is a definite connection between what's happening in the sky and how you would build buildings, basically, and that's why you see a lot of these encodes.
So
in architecture and things. Yeah.
I was explaining to Dixie just how of an underrated channel we are, what with the things that you've been doing and the things that Zach's been doing, the things that just everything over throughout the years. And she posed a question to me, one of those, just a rhetorical question. She says, if the Earth is a battery, what would happen if we were to say, start mining all these minerals out of this galvanic cell and start removing them from the Earth? How would that affect a battery by just strip mining all of these materials out of the battery? Don't you think that would affect the battery some? I said, holy shit. Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's definitely that component of it where what your actions actually, I think of it as a battery, but I also think of it as a living cell. So how would you treat, something living? And I think a lot of the older cultures really have that concept that they're in a living place. They're inside a living world in a sense. So, everything around us is living and dying, and I don't see the whole of the world as anything different either. So I just think that perspective would definitely change how we operated in our world for sure.
Well, I mean, the cell itself, in all of its, what we're shown anyway, in all the drawings, very battery-escent. I mean, there's lots of components there that would match up. And I also, just that idea of as above, so below, kind of thing. It would make sense that this cell that we live upon would be a battery. I mean, I just saw, oh man, I don't think I dropped it here. I may have read it in a magazine, actually, an article about the fact that as humans, we emit light. We we emit light on a normal daily basis. It's like 1,000 times dimmer than what you can actually register with the naked eye. But if you have the correct imaging apparatus, which I saw some images there, and it seems like the face area emits this light more than any other part of the body. And if you start talking about this galvanic cell, this battery cell, and the fact that we live upon a big cell, well, if we're all made up of these cells that can somehow emit light and they're just daily routine, then yeah, I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling here, but yeah, you got my brain smacking here.
Yeah, like I was listening to a Karen B stream actually, and she was talking about sun gazing and those sort of things. So I'm like, oh, that's just fascinating. These people going out at the right time of the day and getting energy from the sun. So it sort of goes towards that sort of idea as well.
Right, just get it directly from the source. Bypass all the other bullshit. I went through a little phase of doing that in the mornings when I was working at a time when I was up at the right time. It's definitely a certain time of day you have to do it safely anyway. Huh.
Yeah, she said something about there has to be pretty much no UV rays.
Right, like 10
So
minutes after
ultraviolet.
the breaking of the dawn is literally as far as you're supposed to do that safely.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's just off the top of my head. I didn't see her stream. I need to go check out and get the details again. It's been a minute. Well, I know you sent a picture around not too many days back, maybe a week or two ago, of drawing that was similar to one you've done. And did you ever get an origin? Did you ever trace it back? Where'd you get the picture in the first place? I was really intrigued that it looked so similar.
Yeah, Benjamin Balderson sent it to me. He just sent it to me. He got it off, I don't know what it was, someplace. But yeah, we didn't get the origin. But it was basically what I was saying is that, someone beat me to it because in their drawing, they had a anode and cathode as the sun and the moon. And I was like, oh, man, I thought I was the first one. No, but I've always said that this is old information. It's not
Yeah, we're just
new.
remembering it. That's it. Exactly. Remembering it. And
anyway, I sort of got sick of doing the battery stuff for a while. I was just like, I got to take a break. I wanted a different topic, just for a while. So I basically, that's where I've got into all this, planetary stuff and mathematics and those sort of things. Those like connections you make with numbers and things like that. I just find that really fascinating. I wouldn't say I'm a mathematician, that's for sure, though.
And that is really interesting. But I really want to know what the important stuff, though. Like, how's the garden doing?
Oh, the garden. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's good. Going all right. I got tons of tomatoes. We actually had, like, just the other day, we had this a couple of big storms come through. They didn't last very long, but yeah, shit, it was. I talked to a bloke at the servo and he said, oh, I've never seen any weather like it since, and he's lived here for like 60 years or something like that. Mm. But basically this huge cell came through and it had winds and lightning, and I was out before it, you could see it coming towards me. I was out the backyard. I'm like, calling the kids out, and I basically just hearing this thunder. I'm like, usually you hear thunder and it just sort of crackles and goes away. I was like, it's been going for like a few minutes, and then like 10 minutes later, it's still just rumbling. I'm like, holy shit, something's coming here. So yeah, it was pretty fun, but we had some mad hail, so that sort of the point was it sort of destroyed my garden a little bit. Oh. And anyway, it'll bounce back. Plant more stuff.
And I'm playing catch up in chat. Real quick, I want to, before it goes by again, Liz already had told us about it earlier, and now Capalicious 420 reminding us that on February 22nd of 2022 at 22:22:22 time, there will be a once-in-a-lifetime meditation there. Trying to get the link. Liz. I'm clicking and I have my autoplay on. Shame on me. Anyway, over there on Mark Devlin's channel, Liz has shared it. I will share it for you. Once again, we had kind of started doing a little meditation, and then we kind of lost the thread like we do sometimes when you have a lot going on. But definitely thank you, Liz. Thank you, Capalicious, for reminding us. I dropped the channel there for Mark Devlin. Definitely an interesting day. Where's our numerologist? What does 2 mean? Come on, Lucas. What does that mean you're a mathematician.
It represents the two pillars.
There's more than one, right?
Yeah, 2 pillars. Yeah. Feminine. I was thinking it was feminine. Because women can have 2 things, them and the baby.
Oh, nice. That's good stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
That's just around the corner here, like in a day, I believe. Is it the first? It is the first. Man, I am just out of sorts. So yeah, 2 is the magic number. The time would be 22,
David
22,
M. He
22.
disagrees. He says 3's feminine. 3's the Trinity.
3 is
sorry.
the man,
3's
woman,
the
and
Trinity.
child.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a magic number.
Whole world's built on that. Don't get me started.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to, I'm supposed to be helping Zach out in a few days doing
I know,
this.
we're all pumped up, dude. I'm just,
I'm going to get my camera out, and I'm not sure how I'm going to like set it on the tripod. Anyway,
I think
I've got
it should
some
mount.
like music stands and things like that because I don't have a proper camera tripod or really a very good camera at all. But we'll see. I might have to do a pre-run at it and see if
you
it's
probably
decent.
want to do a test run. I learned that on my second eclipse. Well, I learned it doing the first eclipse there, that first blood moon eclipse back in 2015. But yeah, preparation and test runs are always good when you're trying to do stuff in the sky. And then you'll get there the day of, and things will be completely just totally different, and everything has to be reset and all your settings. And yeah, so as much
I just hope it's clear, you know.
Right.
I just don't want. Oh, sorry, Zach. It was cloudy. Try again in 2 weeks or whatever it was. It's not that long to wait. That's the main thing.
Yeah. But again, if he's right, that's going to be.
I don't know. Do you know any? I'll have to ask what the camera settings are. I'll have to use.
I bet Zach knows. He's quite the photographic dude.
You just need a
He's actually going through his pictures of his insects recently, and he's got some amazing photographs. Anyway, sorry I talked over you guys. What were you saying?
I was just saying, you probably just try it NASA style. Just close your eyes and start mashing buttons, and they should all come out perfect.
Yeah, just put it in, strap it to your chest. Just kind of generally point it that way.
Yep.
And then just bring it into my computer, bring up Photoshop, boom.
Boom, done.
Done. It's too easy for them these days, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed. People keep asking in chat about the time for the February 2nd meditation, and I would guess 10:22 and 22 minutes after the hour.
Yep.
22, 22, 22. Would make sense anyway.
I do believe that's right.
That's AM.
I don't think that's right.
No. Military time, that would be
no.
All right, look, we managed to get Campbell here almost on time.
Almost.
Don't start messing with time, sir.
That wasn't almost on time.
Almost.
That was late. It was late as hell, wasn't it?
Almost.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was there a day early.
An hour.
He was there a day early, so
he was ready to go on Thursday.
Yeah, we got in there a day early this time, so. But I can't find the moon and time clock.
Yeah, I was trying to listen to most of that, but I was too busy catering. Alex had this wedding to do, and then she's like, right, you got to do this, and I'm like, holy moly. So I just flat out.
Don't you see I'm busy? Listening. Got to pay attention. Can't cater. Gosh.
I know.
Shout out that flat fellow, the sunglasses to start our day. Thank you for that super chat, Tommy. Go check out that flat fellow and the many amazing shows, both puppet and otherwise, that is on his channel. I'll drop that.
I don't really want to get into a dodgy topic, but you know, it was the kids' first day back at school today, so I was like, oh, you know, how's this going to go? I hadn't been back for a fair while, anyway. School holidays and all that. So when they jumped in the car, I'm just like, you know, what happened today? And they're just basically like, everyone's wearing masks, you know, and then the teacher told us to put a mask on, and, you know, she didn't, but didn't, you know, she don't have to. But as soon as I heard that, I just went wild. I'm like, right, that's it. So I called up the principal and said, fuck, how do we go about getting him into homeschool? So he's going to talk to me tomorrow. I've had enough. I'm not putting him in that.
He's going to talk to you tomorrow about how to pull them out of the school, or about how they can rectify the situation so the kids will stay in his school?
No, how to pull them out.
Good.
I'm not. If the teachers and that are going to do that to children, but that's our, people need to, children, we all need to see people's mouths and faces and smiling, and we all need to, embrace each other or give people handshakes and see how others are feeling, and to be in an environment where you're muzzling children is, some sort of sadistic ritualization of fuck them. So they're out. I feel bad because, I want my kids to hang out with, other children and be social and all those sort of things like that, but, what am I going to do? You put me between a rock and a hard place. Do I send them there where I know it's indoctrination, for one, right? But anyway.
Oh yeah, this is the music that's real hot. Makes me turn my mic up real loud. That is the end of the first half of the second half. Stick around, we got more to come. Rico's tinfoil hat sombrero there in chat. Mark Devlin came out as a flat earther on Have No Sphere.
It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice. If you need to change your job too, let's say you have a family and children and a mortgage, you have responsibilities. You've already picked up those responsibilities. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and say, well, I don't like my job, I quit. That's no strategy. But what you might have to do is you think, well, this job is killing my soul. All right, so what do I have to do about that? Well, I have to look for another job. Well, no one wants to hire me. It's like, okay, maybe you need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to update your curriculum vitae, your resume. Maybe you need to overcome your fear of being interviewed. Maybe you need to sharpen your social skills. Like, you have to think about these things strategically. If you're going to switch careers, you have to do it like an intelligent, responsible person. That might take you a couple of years of effort to do properly.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Anne, before I started using this product, every afternoon, my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Once in a decade, a true story comes along that remembers the future. After 6 Amazon bestsellers, I have completed the epic Birth Trilogy, a true story of Earth. By reading the Birth Trilogy, you will journey with the characters from the origin of Earth to its final destiny in a white-knuckle ride that combines the intrigue of Tom Clancy with the epic scope of Prometheus and Interstellar. You will learn more about the purpose of life, the mystery of death, and the true nature of your soul than you thought possible. The Birth Trilogy is now available on Amazon and Kindle. The audio version is a free bonus when you buy the paperback, so even if you're not a great reader, don't worry about it. I read it for you. Use the Amazon app today and buy the Birth Trilogy, spelled B-E-A-R-T-H, or search for my name. I'm Brooks Agnew.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
Wake up! Wake up! It's a brand new day.
And welcome back to the second half of the second half, the final segment of the Ironworx right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, simulcast across the plane via YouTube, D Live, Odyssey, Facebook, Twitter, and I think that nails them. Still no Rockfin yet. For those eagerly anticipating our arrival, 3 separate content creators there on Rockfin have submitted their requests, their suggestions that they reach out to us, but we have yet to have heard anything. Matt Landman, if you're familiar with Matt Landman, he was denied access to Rockfin. Interestingly. Yeah. I thought that was crazy.
Huh. Maybe they looked at our tube and said, not these guys. They talk too much shit.
But he still got the interview. They took the referral, talked to Matt, and then denied him. It's not just like, oh, no, not you. They said, let's see what Matt's doing. Oh, no, we don't want Matt on there, which I thought was really strange because Matt Landman puts out some fabulous material.
Don't know.
That's all right. Like I told Matt Landman, their mobile chat sucks anyway.
I haven't even noticed it.
Have you used it? It's like backwards. It's goofy.
Well, you can check me out on there, but I struggle to put up videos. I do a lot of research to try and make the videos as best. Like they got to interest me. I can't just come out with content for the sake of it, So go and suss me out if you want. You all know me anyway.
And we love you anyway. We love you despite how much we know you. Sorry,
if I had to go scream, I'd be playing it.
I've got it. Just nothing is pulled up. It's gotten to the freaking point where I need a 4th damn monitor. But it works out well since my other computer shot craps. Now I have a spare monitor sitting around. I just have to hook it up because I really want to redo my whole studio. Not the whole thing.
Yeah, I was just.
Well, maybe you just need an extra big one.
Night.
Got it. That's my 3rd. I got a TV mounted on the wall that's connected to the television. If you see me look up this way, that's because I'm looking at my big TV, my big screen. I have the 2 here, then I have one up here. But I think I might take that spare and bring it down under the television. And that's where my soundboard will be. That way I don't have to keep popping it up every time I want to play a sound. That was the point of having the extra monitors to begin with.
I'm headed back. I had too many things open, so I was closing a few things. Sorry, everyone. My apologies. You know how I like to ride me some. There it is. I like to ride some stuff open.
And Lucas.
So we spoke about Kratom a bit. There's some legislation, et cetera, going on there in the great state of Florida, helping people not get contaminated kratom, which unfortunately in an unregulated industry is very much a problem. Well, it looks like Kansas has now taken up the gauntlet. They have now, let's see, where is it again? What are they actually calling it? In a testimony to Kansas lawmakers, Mac Hadow, senior fellow on public policy for the American Kratom Association, said that when used correctly, Kratom can help wean people off of opioids along with helping with pain relief. He said as well, he noted a long-standing battle with the FDA over whether the plant is safe to use, and he said, I quote, "That's truly why we're here today, to protect the freedom of Kansas citizens to make informed decisions on their health and well-being without the overreaching regulatory power the FDA is trying to seize." And he further spoke about the need for proper labeling, purity. Let's see here. Another quote. While the Kratom Association should be able to implement the requirements of this HB 2056, the requirements placed upon KDA and Kratom dealers, well, shoot, now I'm breaking it. I scrolled and now it's blocking me. Or is this going to be a paid one after I really read this far? Let me try to get around this. Hang on one
I don't think so. I think it's timed. You should be able to take it out because I can scroll to the bottom of the article.
Okay, so the current bill anyway passed. I was trying to see it. The current bill passed the House last year with 97 voting in favor and 24 against the plan. I probably skipped way too far down. Seems like I missed something there. Anyway, it's good to see this happening because it's unfortunate with an actual substance that helps people with their pain, helps them get off of opioids. It's unfortunate that we're still, what 4 years into it with me taking it this long and it still being an issue. Oh, I had told you guys that I would be getting a little bit more back into it now that my seller has kind of settled into a new setup and gotten a new, recently new website going and just gotten things back like he wanted it to be. I would give you guys that link. I think I dropped it maybe in last Friday's show chat. I'll drop it again this morning for you as well. Lots of testing, lots of great products. They're really a good group of guys. Anyway, if you haven't tried it, then definitely it's something to look into. Do the research, educate yourself, take it slow. And if you want to contact me, I definitely have some experience with it. I'll tell you my experiences. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TFR, but I will definitely tell you my experiences with them and share it with you.
So I'm perusing the space letters, and
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
The heading: giant tree stump impact crater spotted on Mars. So they're like, it sounds like they've been reading up on a bit of like the no trees on flat Earth type thing.
Yeah, it's what I first thing I thought when I saw that headline. I'm like, that's an interesting way to look at it, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, that's I don't know if you saw the video. There was a video getting around. If not, I'll try and find it and put it in chat. But it was basically this guy looking at craters on Earth and things, and he was looking at geysers and how they spray out water and basically create a crater around them.
Video, Lucas, that's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, that's fascinating. Like the big geysers and things like that. That makes a lot more sense.
Our show thumbnail, interestingly enough, about speaking of geysers from the deep. Yeah. So tell him again.
So I'm late to the party, or am I repeating things you've already spoken about?
No, not at all. It's just coincidental that Josh is using a new AI-based thing that helps you create some interesting, intriguing thumbnail art for your shows. It takes keywords, ideas, some type of art direction for it to head in, and it'll start throwing some crazy artwork out at you. And he put in What was the keyword searches there? Giants, mud flood. You know it better than I do, sir.
So you're just cheating with drawing?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Is that what that is?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So So I showed the 2 pictures on Friday of the. So it takes a text prompt, and then the AI reads the text and generates a picture from whatever sentence or string of words you put in there. And there's a couple different algorithms that you can run with the AI. So it kind of produces separate images. So the text prompt was frequency weapons destroy Tartarian giants and star forts, creating a catastrophic mud flood. And I just let the AI try to figure out how best to make that into a visual, because I wanted to see what it would come up with.
Come back with a number 42. Just like after thinking for 3 days or whatever.
Let's see, now, and I know I've got it around here somewhere. Let me pull it up on screen so everybody can see it. And I may be lying. I may not have it.
I can only find the 2 that you did after the fact. I can't find the 2 originals. I don't know where you dropped them. I'm doing the same thing.
Well,
hell.
Well, hell. I will be able to pull it up momentarily.
I was going right to it, I thought. But again, all I can find are the 2 you did.
When I combine
Are they in this actual show chat, maybe? Is that why I'm not seeing them? They might be in the actual show chat we're in.
Couldn't even tell you.
I'm going back. Hang on.
What I did was I took the 2 pictures that each algorithm created. So one is sort of more artistic and one is more subject-based. So I took the subject-based picture and I ran it through the artistic one, and I took the artistic-based one and I ran it through the subject matter-based one, and they came up with this sort of amalgamation of the 2 pictures, and it was really interesting. But I guess I need to show you what the first 2 looked like. And we may not even have time for me to bumble through all this crap, because I certainly did not expect to do it.
All right, I got one of them.
Oh, perfect.
Well, he says as he fumbles the ball. Well, where the hell did I just put that picture?
That's what I'm saying. I had these downloaded and stuff.
I just had it. Oh my God. I just had the picture.
Did the AI take them back?
Dude, I'm beginning to think they're gone.
It's got like a Mission Impossible self-destruct. You only get to hold on to them for a couple days, and then they just disappear. What the hell's going on around here?
That's when you screenshot.
Okay, I know it's here. There it is. I found it. Boom. Ooh, that was hard. Well, here's one of them anyway.
Oh, yeah, I see the guys are on there.
Right?
That's
the first thing I thought of when he showed me the picture was that same video you're talking about with the flooding coming up from the below you, not from rain and whatever, with the geysers and that whole thing. There's another picture. Hang on, let me see.
I don't know. I remember seeing this old, I think maybe Stuffed Beagle had it, or I don't know where I saw it, but it was like a cartoon, and basically they had this character and it sort of punched a hole in the ground, and then it just kept overflowing. And it was like this, then turned into this giant mud flood, basically. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that's like something that could have occurred like that, with geysers or these sort of things. I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue, but I'm just speculating.
Well, I mean, there would. Okay, so to me, well, think about that story we saw, that video we were shown of a guy in the sub at the bottom of the ocean, and he comes across that salt lake at the bottom. That's a different density, a different pressure. He can't penetrate it with his little submarine. There's a lake on the bottom of the ocean of different salinity, different pressure. And that was back when we were first seeing the video of the rocket getting stuck in the goo above us, and everybody was speculating of the liquid, and there's lunar waves going on. And so during all of that, the idea of layers, and there's stuff above us and there's stuff below us, and it's just fucking layers. It's not it's not domed, it's layers, was something way back then that went through my head. So this idea of pressure, equalization, us fucking with shit, piercing these layers with drilling apparatus, and that kind of thing. And then, messing up the equilibrium, messing up the balance, kind of like what Dixie was asking about the battery or the cell or whatever, and us digging all the minerals and sources out of
Yeah, I have thought about that too.
you know.
Or,
You cause
like
imbalance and it just comes shooting through.
yeah. And you've heard me go at like the depths of the oceans and things like that before as
Right,
well.
right,
So
right.
I just don't think that we're definitely not being told about how deep things are. That's for sure. But yeah, there's a few different ways, especially when you look at like the battery operation, like and energy and those sort of things as an energy release. Like when you look at the Earth as a capacitor, as it itself, and a capacitor is basically has the ability to mediate, or the salt bridge in the battery is able to mediate the charge in the whole lot. So if it gets messed with in any way, it basically changes the equilibrium for the anode and cathode. And that's why you need a salt bridge in the battery. In our case, you need the Earth. But that's why you need it. Otherwise, it just goes to equilibrium really quickly, and then you lose charge altogether. But so I just thought using that sort of logic, I guess, is like, yeah, if you mess with the Earth or something changes with the Earth, then definitely a release of charge could happen for sure. So obviously it's all speculation, but when you put it into a sort of a mechanical sort of perspective, I think it at least trying to getting closer to the truth of things anyway.
Absolutely. And that's what we do here. We were talking about that on Friday, how we just kind of get together and throw these pieces around and see what sticks and get way overexcited when something sticks and gnaw it to death. And
Yeah, Liz, Globebusters was explaining the capacitor concept, but mainly in like an atmospheric way, which is, you have a higher charge up above us and or a positive charge up above and a negative charge on the Earth's surface or Earth itself. So that differential is basically can explain what happens, in gravity. That's how gravity can be explained with charge, because you can have two different plates, and then one's positive, one's negative, and you'll have you can basically get matter to stick to, reverse and go up, and go against gravity as such. I've also been toying with the idea, especially when you put that into as a foundational concept of our world, then once you get to a certain height, and you have certain elements that actually will stick to the positive plate rather than the negative. So there could be a flipping of sort of gravity in a sense. So especially when I say that the planets are metals and things like that, it's like, well, you're talking about a lot of weight. If there's an inversion of gravity just because of that type of matter that wants to adhere to the positive plate, well, they actually would be more inclined to go upwards than they would be to come down, which is a really interesting concept just on its own.
And that falls back to that whole idea of, at some point, we've seen histories showing that there was no moon in the sky above us, nor at some point was there a sun, according to the book of Adam and Eve, in the sky above us. So would those possibly be, or at least would the moon perhaps be man's attempt at replicating what he saw above us in the luminaries? And that's why it doesn't act or do the things like the others do, and why it actually looks like you see girders from that little navel spot going up and around it, and just speculating again.
Yeah, well, from when I was looking at the, like I was saying earlier in the in the show, how all the planets have a sort of harmonic to them based on 27. Well, that would indicate that it is definitely moon driven. And also, I was saying that Saturn is the same, and they're both really highly anodic in the sense of a galvanic cell. So that's where you get your energy from to transfer over. So it actually makes a lot more sense like that. But yeah, again, there's still so much more to learn about all this stuff, and just at the tippy top of the iceberg, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're just scraping the bare surface here of this level layer, whatever, this glass onion we're all in. Real quick, commercial sound and video. Thank you, good friend. I appreciate that super chat. Also, Rico's tinfoil sombrero did a little bit of mathematicianal type work for us, letting us know that for the Central Time Zone, it will be 8:22 a.m. for the prayer meditation there with the sorry, I'm reading too many things at once, with the meditation, the 2. It'll be 8:22 a.m. for those of you here in the Central Time Zone tomorrow morning. Or hell, that's going to be tomorrow morning. Okay, I had to think it through.
And if you're an hour
and the rest
early,
of you guys, do your own math.
7:22 pi.
Pi. There you go. He got it. There you go. Also, it looks like David M. saying it was said to be 75 degrees all the time without the sun as well, which is why we probably all think that's the perfect temperature that we remember as a collective. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Rosie, that you're having a migraine there. I see that in chat. Sending you some love and some healing. I know those migraines are something else. I live with them. Not personally, my significant other. She goes through them not as often as she used to, actually. And I'm not really sure what she's done to change that, other than maybe some dietary things. I know there are some there's a pressure point in the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. If you kind of squeeze around and massage around in there, you'll find a spot. You got to squeeze kind of heavy, kind of hard. You'll find a spot there that'll like just flare that headache right up. And if you just keep manipulating that and play with that little energy point in the webbing between the thumb and the forefinger, you may have to go kind of deep into the hand. Your head will blow right off. No, it'll help. It definitely does help. So I hope that gives you a little relief.
No, there's another one on. We've had this conversation before. I think. There's another one on your IT bands on each side of your legs. So it's basically you put your hands down, you stand up, put your hands down, and it's basically at your middle finger, and then you press in there, and it'll hurt like buggery, but it'll help.
Shout out to Nathan for commercial sound and video. Real quick, before just to interrupt, I got a $5 super chat from the commercial sound and video. Thanks so much, Nathan. Much appreciated. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's good. But yeah, do that.
We're playing doctors on YouTube.
We are not doctors, nor do we play them. Damn it, we're just strictly experienced
Sorry, I got that backwards.
Healers. Yeah, we're not doctors, but we'll take a look. No, sorry. Paraphrasing a joke there in chat.
Pretty sure everyone out there seems to be playing doctor these days. So what to do?
Well, you have to for your own self. I mean, if you go to any of these whack quack Macs that peddle their wares on your pharmacy world, there, I don't even know what to tell you. Well, we are quickly nearing the end of this damn thing. It was so good to have you come hang out again, Lucas. Miss you, brother. Definitely good to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good to pop in. Thanks for having me, guys. Just
anytime. And then as soon as you guys get the details worked out, you and Zach, which Zach, I tried here at the end 3 times, but I guess it's not going to work. Anyway, when you guys get the details worked out on your moon experiment, definitely keep us abreast. Let us know. He didn't really know
Yeah,
that if y'all were going to try to live stream, maybe separate simultaneously. I don't know what the plan there is. You probably have your hands so full doing the actual measurements that trying to stream it at the same time might be a little cumbersome. You might just want to get someone to help you
I'm
record
scared
yourself.
of live streaming.
Well, that's what
I've
I'm saying.
never
Maybe just
live
record
streamed.
it. Like have somebody video you while you're doing these things. That might be more. Then you can edit it
Yeah.
later and take out all the cussing and fuck, I can't see it and all that.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll have someone around. I mean, it'll just be me, and it may be
right.
some strange hour of the night that he's got me up in, and I'm pretty sure I'll be half asleep trying to do it. Cursing Zach, probably.
Most likely.
But I'm interested to see, like, if he nails it and there's something that comes from it, I think, it's gonna be brilliant.
Otherwise, tell people where they can find you, good sir. I know they know, but we're going to remind them.
Oh yeah, just go on my YouTube, which is LC King or Rockfin, or you can cruise over to my Telegram as well. I got a Telegram chat there. It's called Electric Earth, LC King Electric Earth or something like that. Electric Flat Earth. Someone might be able to put it in chat for me. I haven't got it open. But, I really enjoy that's where I sort of I post what I'm doing.
Love you guys. See y'all Friday morning.
Love you guys. Check this out. Friday afternoon, we're going to have Rico's tinfoil hat sombrero on. And then next Friday, for Have No Sphere, we're going to be having David M. This is what you call 2 shows, 2 weeks, planned, booked, and done. How do you like them apples? Well, you guys have a great rest of your week. We will see you right back here Friday morning. Be good, be well, we love you. Bye-bye.